Thank you, Madam, for your nice words. And, good afternoon to all of you. I know it is hard to sit in class after a good lunch. Therefore, I would also finish the entire workshop content in another 1 hour. And begin, as I have understood, there are issues with climate also. Climatic change is also happening. Can you go to the University of Bangladesh? I would just introduce about some of the basic documents that you need to keep when you are starting your OB implementation. This is one document we have formulated as part of a workshop for the University of Dhaka, which was convened in Delhi. And this is one good document that all of you can start with. Now, you would have something called as teaching diary, right? I do not know what is the format, but these things also have to be incorporated into the teaching diary here onwards, which means you can go skip the part A, except 11, 12, and 13. See, course objectives and course summary you already have. Along with that, you also should have the COs for all courses, and the mapping between COs and POs is very essential. This has to be incorporated into the document. Now, second one, content of the course. Yes, you have the course content with you. Alignment of the topics with COs should be missing. You have to align your courses, your topics with appropriate COs. Class schedule, lesson plan, weekly plan. The sample documents are available here. Teaching learning strategies. As of now, you would be using only the lecture methods, the laboratory methods, but you have to start thinking about alternative methods of instruction delivery. Like I was explaining about N-survey, N-card. You need to find out your own instructional methodologies. Whatever interesting instructional methodologies are possible can be applied. Even if you start dancing in the class, our objective is to make the others learn. That's all. Pardon, ma'am? So, that is the teaching learning strategies. Then again, the assessment techniques for each course, whether it is going to be the written examination, the oral examination, or it is going to be quizzes, projects, practicals, mini projects, or is it going to be some sort of innovative assessment methodologies, the alternative assessments. And regarding assessment strategy, whether it is quiz, midterm examination, the assignment, projects, reports, class test, spot test, something that you can try. Spot test. Spot, not sports. Spot test. Presentations. And the end semester examination. Come down, please. Go, please. Then next.
Rotate it.
I do not know how to rotate it. But you can understand. Come to the first one. Right. She is a computer teacher. See, name of the college, faculty of which department, the course that is handled by a particular teacher, the session, whether it is odd session or even session, then this part is to be completed by the course teacher. I think the coming revision of the NAC has this document incorporated. That is what we are expecting. The course learning outcomes, CO1 up to CO5, or maybe more than that. The exam questions addressing COs, how many number of questions, whether CO1 is addressed, CO2 is addressed, CO3 is addressed, and what levels of Bloom's taxonomy. And this is completed by another department or the moderator. What all things you have said here has been right, verified, validated. Understood? Next document, please. Now, this is the weekly lesson plan. I do not know what is the current format of lesson plan, but this is going to be the OBE lesson plan. What is the specific outset? Topics 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n numbers. You will write the introduction to biomechanics, something like that here. It's going to be the specific outcomes attained by each student. What is the knowledge? What is the skill? What is the attitudes? Whether you don't have any attitudes, leave it blank. But you will obviously have knowledge. So either knowledge or skill. And what is the teaching strategies and suggested activities? What all activities are suggested? You might have activities related to going back to their home and doing some kind of assignments, searching some other libraries for some articles, writing a paper, research paper. All these are actually part of the activities. Now, teaching methods, aids, tools, materials, books. There is one particular book, some other books, online resources, multimedia pictures, any reports, charts, newspapers, handouts, etc. You again go to assessment technique and whether the assessment technique is aligned with the COs. Come down. Okay. This is OB process alone. This is OB alone. Please go.
Twice చేయాలి. Two more times. Yes. మళ్ళీ ఇంకోసారి.
One more. Next. Yeah. And here we have the mapping of outcomes. Mapping the outcomes with this. Go. As I have already shown. So this is a document that you need to keep as part of your academic process every semester. Maybe coming from the next semester onwards when the guidelines are published. Now, regarding the mapping process that we did in the just previous session, we found out the averages, weighted averages. Now we have the program articulation average, program outcomes average, and we have the course weighted averages. Two values we have right now. PO average value and the PO average values in courses. The entire PO average value we have and also the average values of courses. Now it is our responsibility to find out the attainment. For this, we need to have a total revamp on the question paper pattern. The revamp is in such a way that you start assessing the student not in terms of part A, part B, part C, and part D, but in terms of the number of COs. Whether it is CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5. I have just shown on question paper clearly. And previously, what we were bothered is whether the student was having a pass percentage or not in totality. But in OB, we are not going to consider in totality. We are going to consider whether one particular student in a class gets the required percentage of marks in each COs. That is, if you have 5 COs, you'll have 5 CO marks coming up. And you will also have a threshold marks. And with this mark only, we can go for the attainment equations. That means in colleges like ours, which is affiliated, we will face little difficulty right now because we cannot bypass the university mechanisms, university patterns. But I believe that in another next 1 or 2 years, when the college becomes a degree granting institution, you would have the right and the methods, procedures and methods to go for validating and verifying and tabulating the separate COs for all students of the college. If anybody has seen the tabulation register of university, it is half the size of this table. But when you start incorporating all these COs, it is going to be this full table. Understood? That is one reason why I suggested not to go for higher number of COs. In my college under Kerala, question papers have to be printed in my college. They don't give question papers. How is the condition here? Against it. And to take printouts of all these CO question papers takes a large amount of time and wastage of money. That's why I have asked all of you to start with at least 5 COs only. The lessons, the COs and POs, the lesser the confusion complication. Otherwise, it creates a large amount of complication. So we start with one particular student, his marks in CO1, his marks in CO2. He may skip this third question, so you won't be having any marks in CO3. Even you have choices in COs. Now see the complexity. University suggests you to give choices for students, no? Therefore, in one CO alone, you will have CO1, question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. Question 1, suppose it is 2 marks, you will also have to have a choice of another 2 marks. If it is a 4-mark question, you will have to have another choice of 4-mark question. Likewise, the complexity increases, and that is an administrative headache. Not actually part of teacher's headache, but yes, preparation of question bank is going to be very tedious task. And we require automated mechanisms for preparation of question banks. Once you have the quality set of COs with ample amount of choices, I'm sure a question paper would be something like 4 to 6 pages. Now, regarding the evaluation of the marking scheme, the teachers have to specifically look at whether the student has cleared separate COs, not the entire marks. Which means if CO1, you are giving a threshold value of 40 marks, or let's say 10 marks, the student separately has to get 10 marks in that CO1, score the sufficient amount of marks in CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5, and finally you will say that in your register, in your mark list, or in your certificate, you will say that as per the regulations of this college, this student or what has successfully completed all the COs. And therefore, a program degree is awarded. You understand? So it is a bit complexity process where you start measuring and evaluating separate COs. For that, we have separate equations also. And those equations are all very simple, straightforward equations. So I'll show you a sample list of mark lists. Right? So. Now see your tabulation resistance getting bigger and bigger. That's it. See, these are resistance numbers, sample resistance numbers. And you have CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5. Test 1, only test 2 COs. Test 1 is not testing CO3, CO4 and CO5. It is only testing CO1 and CO2. And you see the marks of students of test 1. Sample marks. Are you able to see? Backside. So the first student has 30 marks in CO1, 40 marks in CO2, 25 for CO1, 37 for CO2, 40 for CO, 10 for CO1, 30 for CO2, 14 for CO1, and 20 for CO2. So we have a total here. How many students attended? 4 students attended. What is the maximum mark? This is the maximum mark that you can score, 50 marks. I have said 50% is threshold. This number is arbitrary. You can set 60, you can set 70, you can set 80. I have set the minimum 50. You can also go for 40. I have set 50% marks as the maximum, threshold value, which means that if the maximum mark is 50, the threshold mark is going to be 25. Now you check how many students are above threshold value. How many students? 2 students in CO1 and 3 students in this set. See, there is a rubric that I have framed. This is also very much important. It depends according to institutions. This is a sample study where I have said that if 50% of students scores above 50%, 50% of students in the class scores above 50%, I give a weightage of 1. Now 60% means I give a weightage 2 and 3. Right, 70% above means it's high. I am going to give it 3. In that case, what is the level of CO1? 1. What is the level of CO2? 3. Again, when you total it, see, the total marks is 100 marks, 50 plus 50, 100. Threshold value is 50%. So it is going to be 50 here. Number of students above threshold value, totally, test 1 plus test 2. It becomes 2. Now the average value for test is going to be 1. Weightage is 1. Now come this side. You understood this much? The first part. You understood the first part? We were just calculating threshold values. We were then searching for how many people who cleared the threshold value. And just we had a rubrics of whether it is 50%, 60% or 70%. I would advise you one more thing. Though we have kept the threshold value as 50%, I understand that mostly the first internal examinations and second internal examinations, or rather first test and second test is going to be MCQs, right? First is MCQ. But again, the difficult level is very less. The range of difficulty is comparatively very less. In that case, you can increase the threshold value from 50% to maybe 60% or 70%, depends on the class average. What do you mean by class average? Pardon? No. Multiplied by the total. It's actually class average. What the value of class average is taken before the class starts, and you instruct a class on the basis of the class average. You cannot go high, you cannot go low. You have to understand a particular point at which the class average stands. This depends on student to student, not teachers. This can be different for different teachers, but I would suggest uniformly to apply for one particular class or one particular batch first year. Second year, you can increase the threshold value. Third year, you can increase slightly the threshold value again. You understood? So that is how we, what is it? See the models. Models are CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5. Same strategy. Again, the number of marks obtained by each student: 17, 18, 15, 9, 18, 14, 8, 11. I hope everybody is understanding. I'm just reading out the values. Sorry. See the model marks. CO1 has 20 marks in that model. CO2 has 20% of marks. Likewise, we have 100%. That is 100% the sum of all the CO marks. Each CO has equal amount of marks. And therefore, obviously, equal amount of choices also will be. You have CO1 20 marks, CO2 20 marks, CO3 20 marks, CO4 20 marks. 5 is again 20 and total is 100. Now again the threshold value is 50%. We find the total. Here it is the total. See how much people have cleared the threshold value. Threshold value was 50 marks. All the four, right? And therefore it is above 70%. It is above 70%. So you give a value of a value of 3, right? Now go that way. Right. University exams. University exams CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, CO5. The total marks is I think 100. And the threshold value is 850. The number of students appeared is 4. Threshold value satisfied the threshold value is 4, and therefore the value is 3. You understood? So we are actually converting the entire mark list into values of 1, 2, or 3. Considering both the internal marks and external marks. Now, before going to further clarification and explanation, basically there are 2 types of assessment. One is a direct assessment, and obviously the other one is indirect assessment. What do you mean by direct assessment? Written test, viva, presentation marks, practicals. These are all part of direct assessment. Now then, what is indirect assessment? Feedback is one answer. Good. That is part of indirect assessment. Anything else? Feedback on what? On what? You give me a question. You give me a sample question.
Same parameter, depth of knowledge, clarity.
Yes. But in OB, our indirect assessment is something entirely different. It's something related to the knowledge of CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5. Till now, we were asking whether the teacher completed the questions, whether she was very pleasant, whether you had ample time for examination, whether your question paper pattern was understandable by you, some sort of questions like that. But hereafter, it's not related to any those kind of parameters. It is only related to whether the student who completed a particular program or a particular course has got an understanding of CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5, which can be verified here. No, we have two kinds of tests. Along with the course survey, we also have some other sort of surveys as well. The other one is alumni survey. When he completes the program, you call it program exit survey. The other one is course exit survey, which means the number of surveys are going to be much more than what we have right now. For each courses, to be very precise, for all the 36 courses, you need to have a survey. That is called as course exit survey. You exit a particular course, and probably you may start entering another course. But at that point of time, the concerned teacher is responsible to conduct a course exit survey, and then try to understand or analyze what is his standings on the COs. Likewise, after 36 courses, you will also do a program exit survey, where you will ask whether he was aware about PO1, PO2, PO3, PO4, PO5, PSO1, PSO2, PSO3, like that, and whether what is his standing on PO1, PO2, PO3, PO4, PO5, PSO1, PSO2, PSO3, PSO4, and PSO5. And you give a weightage of 20% to indirect assessment and 80% to direct assessment. It's not assessing, it's actually giving you feedback. But that is actually called as indirect assessment. It is actually a Likert scale. You start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They place themselves.
They place themselves. And you have a provision for verification here, because you have a table here.
Exit feedback we can extrapolate.
Yeah.
But alumni we cannot extrapolate.
You have to take data from alumni as well. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The total indirect assessment has just a 20% weightage. Even if you do not have a data from alumni, that doesn't matter. It is just a 20% of weightage. Whereas the majority whole lot of weightage goes for the direct assessment.
Direct assessment is the student is currently
Yes.
not performance. But indirect, you're saying it has to take from the alumni.
No, indirect, one component is alumni. There is a program exit survey. Who is going to do that? The student is going to do that. Who is going to do the course exit survey? Yes. Yeah, alumni is also one part of survey that forms part of the indirect assessment. But in some institutions, they find it very difficult to get the data because they exactly do not know where exactly the alumni stays right now. But if possible, that value also has to be incorporated into the indirect assessment. And the top.
Alumni means those who completed their course.
Those who are working in some institutions. That is applicable when we count the PEOs, right?
Program exit.
Right. That's a program exit record. And 20% weightage to indirect assessment and 80% weightage to direct assessment. And with some sort of equations, mathematical equations, we will come to a conclusion that we have something called as a program attainment ratio and a course attainment ratio, which could be mapped to the estimation that we have done in the program and course and the program application metrics. Yes. And we have mechanisms to check that also. It's not like one single statement and he is writing, I am very good in that. Not like that. We have valid proof for that. For all OBE documents, you need to keep a proof. That is why the document, entire document for one semester. In Ghana University in Africa, they are completely transformed to OBE, and I was also part of that implementation at Ghana. they had approximately 1 to 1.25 lakh documents per semester of a batch of 50. That is why during my initial session of today, I was pointing about the need of a LMS. LMS and proper ICT tools. It's impractical to handle all these documents in a manual process. It's very difficult. Why? Because we need to calculate and store all these values for at least 5 years of every student. Not a one single value. It is CO-wise, question-wise values for internal examinations, for class tests, for oral tests, for quizzes, for university examinations. Unfortunately, we are not going to do for university examinations because of the restrictions. Yes, madam? That's what. Yes. They don't call it as a ERP solution, they just call it as a storage repository, a central storage repository. Clouds or maybe servers or maybe we can always depend on this matter. Now, once you finalize this table, you have a level values. And these level values that you have in this examination or the assessment pattern, both for internals and externals, have to be linked to those program weighted average of program articulation metrics to get the correct values. I'll show you sample of data here. Can I have the right. Just take down two equations, please. Two equations. We need to calculate PO attainment and CO attainment, right? That is CO attainment. Again, we have PO attainment. So the PO attainment equation is like this. Just take it down because you would require that sometime later also. The PO attainment equal to weighted average of COs of a PO. That is the weighted average, right? Weighted average of a CO of a PO, right? We have PO1, PO2, PO3, PO4, PO5, PO6, PSO1, PSO2, PSO3. And those, the last row is actually called as a weighted average. The weighted average of a COs of a PO divided by the maximum value. What is the maximum value? What is the maximum value that can happen? 3 divided by 3. This is it. In the final CO attainment. That is what we have to calculate. So finally, we will get what is the course attainment value, what is the final attainment value from all these mark sheets. PO, all these mark sheets. And then we will try to match, see whether the estimation and the actual attainment is matching properly. If there is a gap, you need to do corrective mechanisms. Corrective measures in terms of remedial measures, tutorials, auxiliary learning programs, Any questions, please? The climate wants me to finish the session immediately. I can take some more questions. Otherwise, I will feel that learning didn't happen. Only the procedure happened. Like, yes.
Can we do it only till the portion that we covered in the previous session and not go for the
No. For NAC purpose, you have to find the attainment. So, 1.3. 1.1 is outcomes, right? If I'm wrong, please correct me. 1.1 is about detailed write-up about outcomes, and 2.6 right, and regarding the result attainment, it is 2.6.5 or 3, and you can go and check it in that document, where you have to clearly mention whether you have attained it on the basis of that documents.
You have given this breakup according to course.
Yes.
We are already doing it based on the grades that our students get.
Okay, you convert the grades into marks.
Yeah, no, the grades, like suppose some X number of students have about A grade or O grade.
Yeah, understood. That is one mechanism. Some institutions follow that kind of mechanism, but NAC has clearly mentioned that this is going to be the next year's criteria. We need to have separate students, individual distribution of marks.
The distribution should be only as per COs.
Only as per COs and POs. Because that is what matters. We don't have any other parameters right now. What we have is only COs, POs, and PSOs. Nothing else. Not even the quality and the complex knowledge of the teachers here influence. Threshold limit depends on your previous class average or your previous class percentage, pass percentage. If you can increase the threshold value to something like 70, that is a very good number. But on the first hand, you cannot go and start with 70 threshold. You can start with 40% or 35% or 50%. 50 is an ideal number. 50% pass percentage is an ideal number. That's why you keep on the threshold value as 50.
Sir, you said since you are like from an affiliated institution and final exams, so you still have to follow the university patterns, right?
Yes.
Then how do you calculate? If the COs won't be matching there, right?
This is actually entirely applicable in an ideal sense only for autonomous institutions and universities. But in your case, since you have the freedom to do internal examinations here itself and as per your experimentation method strategy, you can start doing the OBE process at least in the internal parts, except on the external part. But one thing is very sure, you have to convince all the students why we are starting this kind of a methodology in the institution. Next. No. See, just a minute. Test one. Listen, please. Test one is 1 mark. Models. Do you know what is 1, 3, and all? We got that value in the levels, right?
Yes.
Those values are here. Now, the sum of internals. We have 3 internals. Some of the test 2 somebody has taken, others have left out. So test sum of internal is 3 plus 1 divided by 3, which comes to 2.33. And this is the university percentage. Again 3, you know how we came. That university marks 4 out of 4. 4 people scored above the threshold value. So you have 3 value here. Likewise CO2, CO3, CO4. Come on. And see. Internal examination weightage is 20%. External examination weightage is 80%. Now 20% of 2.87 plus 80% of 3 comes to a final attainment for a subject is something like 2.97. You understood how it is calculated? It's very straightforward equations. Now once you have this 2.97, you come to the POs. See, PO1, PO2, everything that is mapped, the mapping table. Please come up. Now this is the equation. PO attainment equal to average of COs of a PO divided by 3 because 3 is the maximum value, into final CO attainment for each subject. What is this final CO attainment? Now we have seen what is the final CO attainment. This is 2.97. Right? This is the average value of weighted average of the table. You understood? Are you following me? That weighted average of POs, of COs of a PO, which we PO1 we have one weighted average, PO2 will have another weighted average. How many number of POs we will have? We will have separate weighted averages. Into the final CO attainment, which we have calculated just now. That will give you, see here, PO attainment for PO1. PO1 equal to average COs for PO1 divided by 3 into 2.97, which means PO attainment for PO1 is going to be 2.97, because see average COs for PO should be 3. It should be 3. Come down. For PO1, what is PO1? 1 divided by 1 equal to 1. Please go. Please go. No. This is the level. The level 3 divided by 3 into 2.97. That is 1 into 2.97 is 2.97. Right? That is how we get the answer. And once these values are calculated, it is easy for us to understand whether all those. Now, what was the CO1 and PO1 value? That was 2. Here we are getting what? 2.97, which is much higher than the estimation. See, you will also get some values which are lesser than what is estimated. There you need to correct using remedial measures. It is CO and PO connected directly, not the entire POs. That is why we calculated the CO PO matrix and we calculated the overall attainment of a CO and the final attainment of a PO. I hope it is clear. It's available in the internet. Only what you have to do is you can substitute. Right. Any more questions?
So that table is kind of highly open to interpretation and subjective, right?
What?
That table, I can probably go and put a 3 for every.
You have to show justification. You have to show justification.
But the POs are essentially.
If you go for 3, you don't have to attain 3. That is not in your hands.
Yes,
The attainment is not in your hands.
right.
An optimistic teacher can go for maximum, but what about attainment? There you will find you will have it covered. Yes, for the mapping of allied courses, which department's PO should we follow? It is the parent department who runs the program. Somebody was asking me in the lunchtime, during the lunchtime, the programs like Sanskrit, Hindi, etc. are applicable for many courses, but they have their own COs only, not POs. Their COs are going to be directly connected with the POs of parent program. It could be BCom, it could be BSc, or it could be something else. Any other question? Online? Any more questions? If no, I can wind up. Yes, yes. Somebody can hand over a mic to sir. Wait, sir. Wait, sir. I give the questions related to university application.
Sir, as long as the institute is affiliated to some university, we always follow the curriculum given by the university.
Sure.
And every time we will, we do all this exercise on for outcome exercise.
Understood.
We
Yeah.
go for a
So what
gap.
is the question?
The question is the gap analysis.
Yes.
So, and when the institution becomes autonomous,
The gap analysis has to be done before the curriculum is planned and revised. And as of now, it is not your cup of tea. It is the cup of tea for university people.
but once the
But ideally, we are thinking about ideal situation. Maybe in another couple of years' time, you will be in a position where you can find out your outcomes depending on the discussion of all your stakeholders, including the industry people, the passed out students, the current students, the parents, and then you will be in a position to find out your outcomes, and at that point, all these things become applicable.
Because when the institution becomes autonomous, the whole responsibility will be on
Yes, yes.
us.
I was earlier working with autonomous institution, right? And we were doing this entire thing. But again, regarding the autonomous, as somebody was pointing out, we again have restrictions. It is a 20% restrictions on in alterations of syllabus. But again, how this 20% is calculated is still a myth for me. Right.
So we develop a question and we again further call it a gap between.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that though university has large amount of restrictions, once you finish all this process, you as a teacher will be in a position to guide your students from the lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills, which is definitely an added advantage for your institution.
I feel we have to deliberately leave something as a gap in every unit and then go for the enhancement in the next curriculum development.
Yes, sir.
Something like that.
Thank you. Miss.
Sir, since you work in this field, are you aware of any ready-made software circuit?
I is aware about many number of softwares, and I was explaining the same to Principal Madam and JP Madam, but they charge heavily. I'll give you a rough idea about what the software people charge. On an average of 1,000 students, they charge 10 lakh rupees. It's for 1 year. And every year you have to renew the contract with an annual maintenance contract of I think 25%. So that's why organizing this kind of a workshop for all of you, and all of you following this workshop and all of you carrying out what you have taken back definitely benefits you as well as the institution and your students as well. I do not know why, because again, the educational scenario is highly politicized. That's what I can say. I hope something has been taken back for all of you, because the questions are coming up, right? Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing information about designing teaching diaries and weekly lesson plans, and also enlightening us about different types of assessments. So all good things come to an end. So we've come to the end of this 2-day national workshop on outcome-based education, but I could add to it that we all have to embark on a new journey towards implementing it in our respective colleges. So I kindly request now Sister Principal and Jayanti ma'am to kindly come forward and felicitate sir. Sir, kindly request you to come forward. Can we have a big round of applause, please? kindly request Rita ma'am also to join for a photograph. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sister. Thank you, ma'ams. I now invite Mrs. D. Srikala, Head Department of Statistics, Additional IQAC Coordinator and Convener of the workshop, to present to us the report of the proceedings of the workshop. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you, Francina. Good afternoon, one and all. I take this privilege to present a very brief report of the workshop. Morning, the Ms. Twali of Little Flower, the Degree College, has clearly elicited on yesterday's proceedings. So just adding to that, this two-day workshop has jointly organized by St.Ann's Degree College, St.Ann's College for Women and Little Flower Degree College. The workshop is on outcome-based education, the need of the hour. And it is like an important component of the National Education Policy 2020. The seminar has started by lighting of the lamp and inauguration by Dr. Sister Amrita, Principal St.Ann's College for Women. The keynote speaker, Professor Lakshmipati Rao, Director, Methodist College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, and Dr. Bruce Matthew, Principal, MES College, Ernakulam, and Ms. Jayanti, Vice Principal, Little Flower Degree College, Uppal, and Dr. Smita Asthana, IQAC Coordinator of St.Ann's College for Women. Dr. Smita Asthana gave an preamble of the seminar, focusing on why the workshop and why this time. As we all know, it's a part of NEP. Again, it's an outcome of NEP. Then the session one was the keynote address delivered by Professor Lakshmipati Rao, Director, Methodist College of Engineering and Technology. Sir has shared his experiences on outcome-based education and explained the scenarios of higher educational institutions in India, and also shared his knowledge on regular bodies of quality education. Sir has properly set the tone of the workshop by emphasizing the importance of the outcome-based education, where it is more important that what student has learned than what the teachers has taught. The crux of OBE is using the revised Bloom's taxonomy, outcome-based education, architecture, organizational structure, challenges and limitations of OBE. Technical session one was taken up by the resource person of the workshop, Dr. Bruce Matthew. Sir was with us since yesterday till now. And the session one is on OBE, a transformational perspective. The session started by focusing with an overview of OBE and OBE framework. He stated the importance of T-shaped employee and performed gap analysis and need analysis in the curriculum. He suggested facilitators, that is the teachers or lecturers, to follow the knowledge structure in teaching plans. Sir has stressed on hierarchy of vision and mission establishment and COs, POs, PEOs related to the vision and mission of the institution. These to be tailor-made to each institution. Now the learning teaching paradigm has shifted from 3 R's, that is reading, writing, arithmetic, to 4 C's, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity. The mapping has to be done to these 4 C's. The session started with introduction of 3 kinds of OBE, namely traditional, transition, and transformational OBEs. Speaker explained on top priority outcomes which focus about overall LOTs, that is lower order thinking skills, and HOTS, that is higher order thinking skills. Sir emphasizes that it's better to start with LOTs than slowly progress to HOTS. He has demonstrated a few examples of OBEs along with characteristics of OBE and defined exit outcomes. Sir also explained on key elements of OBE approaches. He highlighted OBE principles and practices and gave an example of mapping of COs to POs and PSOs. The speaker said, when we have diversity in POs, there will be diversities in PSOs, and we have to bridge that diversity. And if there are gaps in the mapping of COs and POs, we have to take some remedial actions through some extra courses or assessments at the course teachers level. He gave a clarity on effective learning, psychomotor domain, and structure of the COs. The speaker has demonstrated the mapping of the POs and COs and the attainment. The last session, Sir has shared the templates of OBE course outline, question moderation, weekly lesson plans, and he demonstrated how to calculate the PO attainments using direct method. And there were many queries Sir has taken up patiently and answered. I feel this is the beginning of our job. It's the end of the workshop, but it's the beginning of our work in our own respective departments and colleges. I thank you, sir, for taking your time and being here with us and making a beginning of computation of these POs, COs, and all. Though we have been doing other traditional method, now it's a time to shift to the method specified by the NEP 2020 and the NAC. Thank you once again from the management and faculty of St.Ann's College and Little Flower Degree College. Thank you, ma'am. As rightly quoted by a philosopher, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. Learning occurs in different forms. Learning by seeing, learning by reading, learning by observing. But the greatest form of learning happens through sharing. Now I kindly request few participants to come forward and share your learning experiences with us. I request Dr. Kedarnath Sahu, Professor and Head, Department of ECE, Stanley College of Engineering and Technology, to share his experience with all of us.
Very good evening to one and all here. I'm very, very happy today to be part of this workshop actually. At the outset, I congratulate the organizers to organize such a wonderful workshop. And as far as the topic is concerned, outcome-based education, I'm directly involved in my department for the last 7 to 8 years. And still, my principal asked me to go and attend this workshop. And of course, Dr. Rashtrapat Rao, sir, is the director of our sister college. And a few days back, I had attended his session in his own college. And I got a chance to attend once again yesterday. And for me, especially a lot of takeaways from this workshop. And I consider this, for me to be a very distinct workshop as I am attending a workshop, where the speaker is a distinct person to be the first doctorate in outcome-based education. Thank you, sir. Now, one more thing, in a one-day session, of course, yesterday was the introductory lecture, and today the entire day session, he had very nicely given an overview of how the exercise of outcome-based education. And when it comes to the various approaches of outcome-based education, and I think by this time most of us at the end of the session will be feeling very happy with a lot of information. When it comes to the implementation in our classrooms and to write the first course information sheets and how to map the CO, PO, and has given beautiful insights over all outcomes, right from the EO to GO, unit outcome to graduate outcomes, to different learning outcomes, and course learning outcomes, program learning outcomes. So many, but how to? So basically, we want to understand that outcome-based education is a learner-centric, not teacher-centric. That's the basic difference between the traditional education and outcome-based education. So most of the time, we always feel that we teachers have a control over what we are going to have the education. But now the system insists us to go for learner-centric. We have to evaluate ourselves through the learning that has been transferred to the students. And for that various methods, as I told that it all depends on the individual teacher, how you design, how do you implement. And I understand, I have understood in this last 7 to 8 years, there is no absolute method or a more generalized method to implement. When it comes to implementing, most of the time you individually. So there's a lot of freedom in the particular system, and this is one thing that gives us a chance that how you develop everything by yourself and you blame yourself, you don't blame others. So that has given a beautiful insight in this outcome-based education. So when there are so many things to remember when it comes to learning, remembering this Bloom's taxonomy. Most of the time, Bloom's taxonomy becomes very difficult to understand. We ask the students also, as I told in the first few classes, we should inform the students to give them. And I told in my class that when it comes to all this, because we are basically electronics and communication, we teach analog, electronic circuits. I told you, remember like this, are you applying analog electronic circuits? Are you AEC? R means remember, U means understand, apply, and then evaluate. Okay, analyze, evaluate. So this is what is the method I wanted to tell the students so that they can easily remember. So I once again thank all the organizers to have organized a beautiful, this workshop. I think will definitely be taking all this to the inside the class. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Ms. Pannaga, Faculty, Department of Commerce, Little Flower Degree College, to share her experience.
Good afternoon. I thank the managements of Little Flower Degree College and St.Ann's College for a wonderful workshop. So the main inputs from this workshop are that the teachers are the torch bearers of the society, and we are here to equip students to learn and also to take up to build the nation. So, and one more input I have taken from this workshop is change is constant. I thought that we have all done with our POs and COs mapping, everything was done. And if the university adds one more course to our curriculum, then we are supposed to write one more course outcome for that course itself. But after attending this workshop, there was a film going on. I think all the teachers' mind, a video was playing like how we have written the COs and POs, now what we have to go back and change all those which we have done. So during the pandemic, this was our activity. Every afternoon we used to sit all of us together online and do all these COs and POs. Now even though we have done everything, again we have to go back, we have to unlearn and then relearn what we have learned today and again change all we have done. But it was a very good learning experience, and the workshop was really interesting. Even after the lunch session, we were not asleep. So, and it was made interesting also. Like we wanted to know what is going to happen next, what sir is going to do, what we have to do, go home and do later. Sir, you have given us a lot of assignments and homeworks for our vacation also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Pannaga. Now I invite Dr. Venugopal, Head Department of Genetics from St.Ann's College for Women, to share his experience.
evening to one and all. So at the outset, I'd like to thank organizers for giving me this opportunity to give my reflections. Of course, this was a wonderful workshop for the last yesterday and today. Yesterday, Lakshmi Patirao has given introductory remarks, and followed by today, Dr. Bruce Matthews. Sir, actually, when this session started today, I thought it would be heavier and everybody will go into sleep. But to my contradiction, he really made us awake throughout, kept alive, and never allowed anybody to sleep. That is the real essence of his lectures. So thank you, sir, for carrying along with you all the people. So this outcome-based education truly has given some outcome to all of us. He has given vision, mission of the institution to be translated into people's PSOs and COs, and again reverse flow is also possible depending upon autonomy and affiliation. So he has thrown a lot of light and revised Bloom's taxonomy, which we were ignorant earlier. But being a degree college, there are some limitations. Or what we can say is maximum we can go to up to two, three levels of taxonomy at present with the present curriculum and infrastructure, facilities, etc. Beyond that, it may not be possible because it is not possible to evaluate every student based on project. That becomes a limitation here. But to a certain extent, we can exercise 2 to 3 levels of Bloom's taxonomy and take it further. And whatever yesterday and today content, it will run into one semester course. If you spread it like that, we all will become students of that semester, pass through that, then that becomes outcome based. We are really passing through that. So that is the essential. But he also has thrown a lot of light on question paper setting, which we were ignorant. But part of that we are already covering, maybe up to CO1 and CO2. To a certain extent, we are covering about knowledge, understanding, analysis, but it is not complete. So we will make it complete in our future paper settings. But whatever that is in our hand, anyway, end semester will be set by external. So one important suggestion which I liked from sir's lecture is to implement NCORT type of students feedback after every lecture. Generally, we ask a question after the end of every lecture, whether you understood. Everybody nods. They will say yes. But if you ask questions, they will show blank faces. So we should have a small written, maybe 2 lines written. Flip, they can put it on the table or drop in the box. I think I expect from both the colleges and other colleges to implement it with immediate effect. So thanks a lot, sir, for your very good, excellent lecture and very light, making it very lighter. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now kindly request the dignitaries to come forward for distribution of certificates. I request Bruce Matthews, sir, to come forward, Dr. Sister B. Amrita, Mrs. Jayanti and Smita ma'am to come forward to distribute the certificates. Dr. Prahalad Rao, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, Stanley College of Engineering and Technology for Women. Dr. Kedarnath Sahu, Professor and Head Department of ECE, Stanley College. On behalf of Little Flower Degree College, I call upon Ms. N. Dhwani, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, to come and collect the certificates. Ms. C. Vijayvalli, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, St.Anne's College for Women. Thank you, dignitaries. I kindly request you all to occupy the chairs. I call upon Dr. Suma, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, St.Anne's College for Women, to propose a small announcement for online participants. You will receive your certificates in a couple of days. Thank you. I request Suma ma'am to propose vote of thanks.
On behalf of St.Anne's College for Women and Little Flower College, I take this opportunity to propose the vote of thanks. Respected Sister Principal, Dr. Sister Amruta, Vice Principal, Mrs. Jayanti Reddy, Dr. Smita Asthana, our distinguished resource person, and other dignitaries online and offline. Aligning us with the academic goals with a practical and idealistic approach geared to teaching, learning of our papers, also bringing it under the umbrella of our curriculum. This has given awareness that teaching is not about filling empty vessels, but mutually enriching experience for both the teacher and the taught. Expressing gratitude, Professor Lakshmipati Rao, Director, Methodist College of Engineering and Technology, Hyderabad, a stalwart in the field of OBE, gave us insights into the implementation of OBE. Thank you, sir, for your enlightening address. Our resource person, Dr. Bruce Matthew, Principal, MES College for Advanced Studies, Ernakulam, Kerala, for his academic and experiential learning inputs for a transformational perspective of OBE, mapping, and QB. Thank you, sir, for taking your time out and giving us some deep insights into the OBE. Our principal, Dr. Sister Amruta, St.Anne's College for Women, for her vision towards capacity building. Our dynamic leadership in this direction has opened windows of opportunity. Thank you, sister. Reverend Brother Vincent Reddy, Principal, Little Flower College, for his initiative and collaborative learning with St.Anne's Institution, empowering the next generation professionals. Thank you, sir. Mrs. Jayanti Reddy, Vice Principal, Little Flower College, for partnering and organizing this OBE event successfully. Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. T. Nagalakshmi, Additional Coordinator, Little Flower College, for timely and productive coordination of OBE event. Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Smita Asthana, Dean Academics, IQAC Coordinator, St.Anne's, who takes challenging situations to make St.Anne's a trailblazer on the academic scene. Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. D. Shrikala, Additional IQAC Coordinator, HOD Department of Statistics, for her unstinted support in organizing, planning the event, unflagging efforts towards success of the event. Thank you, ma'am. Organizing team, St.Anne's and Little Flower College IQAC and MOU team, I congratulate the emerging, enterprising fraternity of academicians of both St.Anne's and Little Flower College IQAC and MOU teams for their commendable support and diligence to implement the plans of OBE in future. A big thank you to organizing team. Taking forward. I thank our deans of St.Anne's for their gracious presence. Thank you, deans. Our seminar participants, thank you for being participative and proactive this 2 days national seminar on OBE. I commend all participants online, offline, countrywide who have benefited and benefited in taking OBE forward to your institutions. Thank you, participants. Our technical team, Nelson, Joseph, Sundar Reddy, Francis Reddy, for the tech support, uninterpreted live streaming and coverage of the event. Thank you, technical team. My heartfelt thanks to Shobha Reddy, Admin NAC Office, for her constant support and help at any time and all times. Our SQAC, We appreciate our young, energetic, enterprising students of SQAC for their non-stop assistance. Physical arrangements for this event done by auxiliary staff or heartfelt thanks to our auxiliary staff. To end, acknowledging the grace of God above all gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suma. I kindly request all the participants to rise for national anthem. I invite
Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat, Dravida, Uttara, Banga, Vindhya, Himachala, Chana, Jaladi, Taranga, Tava Shubha Nami Jage, Tava Shubha Ashisha Mage, Gahe Tava Jaya Gada, Jana Gana Jaya Bharata Bhagya Vidhata, Jaya Jaya Jaya
I kindly request all the participants to join us for tea.